Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news, as always, is live from our studios here at Kokomlemle Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're live on Love 99.5 FM and affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Amenuveve FM in Aflao, Radio Justice in Tamale, in Kigli FM in Bole, Sky FM in Sunyani, and Radio Wa in Wa. For our global audience, please download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live in this edition.
It's going to worry us a lot as the consumers.
The LPG gas. We would like to plead with the government to do something about it.
For once we vote, he has the right to also think of us and do what will benefit the citizens.
Fuel and liquefied petroleum gas consumers bemoan expected hardships as prices shoot up in less than 48 hours. The only relief available from government is meanwhile not likely to start anytime soon.
Actually, it comes under the Fees and Charges Act or something.
Yes, it does.
So Parliament must certainly look at it.
NDC Minority Chief Whip in Parliament warns his side will stage demonstrations and force the closure of diplomatic missions that victimize MPs opposed to activities of LGBTQI+.
We are sending notice to our foreign ministry. Be ready. Anybody, any embassy that thinks they can use this as a way of threatening any of our members of parliament, our foreign ministry will insist that embassy leaves, shutdowns and leaves.
Meanwhile, the majority leader is appealing to interest groups to offer constructive suggestions devoid of emotion in the consideration of the Human Sexual and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021.
We should cut out emotions and sentiments because we need to be very dispassionate about this discourse. It's not about an individual. It's about the entire nation. It's about our values.
Also this afternoon, scores of traders at the Ketia market lock up their shops and move to trade on pavements as they demand individual electricity meters following blackouts there. More as they also resolve to suspend payment of all levies, and leading members of the governing NPP describe as shocking and unbelievable death of former aviation minister Kofi Adda. We'll hear from them as they pay tribute to the former Navrongo Central MP.
We'll see how we'll be able to console ourselves and take some of the ideals and principles that we believed in and work within the party.
And in sports,
the Ghana Football Association has written to the Ministry of Youth and Sports to notify them that former Black Stars coach C.K. Akano is due a compensation package of $50,000 for their decision to terminate his contract last month.
We also have sports showbiz.
If you miss the face, you don't miss the headgear. So the headgear will let you know the personality that is coming. And I've been doing this headgear close to 21 years. So even if I turn my back, they know.
We hear from radio and TV personality Akuma Mama Zimbi how she leveraged the popularity of her headgear for 21 years. That and more on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And this is your home of bold, independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, consumers of fuel and liquefied petroleum gas are demanding government intervenes and ensure a reduction in petroleum prices as stakeholders in the industry hint of a 7% increase in less than 48 hours. Fuel prices are expected to go up at the pumps, and liquefied petroleum gas is also set to increase by some 40 pesos per kilo. Spokesperson for the oil marketing companies, Kweku Ajimandia, says the 7% increase in fuel will reflect at the pumps by Saturday morning.
Prices are so volatile. If it does, it's 7%, it's going to be increased. Definitely, it's something we have to pass.
Okay, so when should consumers expect that increase to reflect at the pumps?
Basically, it's the end of the window, the beginning of the next window. We are just ending the 15th, then we start on the 16th.
On the 16th, so this will be Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Well, government has announced the removal of levies for the next 2 months, adding up to 16 pesos as a means of cushioning consumers. Head of Communications at the NPA, Abdul Kudus, explains the levy suspended by government will only come into effect once Parliament grants approval.
It comes under the Fees and Charges Act or something.
Yes, it does.
So Parliament must certainly look at it. Like I said, we are looking at the next pricing window. It's possible Parliament could take the decision tomorrow. I'm not too sure.
Parliament is on recess.
It is on recess, but
till 26th.
Yes, I don't know whether they need a total recall for that decision to be taken. I don't speak for Parliament, and I don't know how they do that work.
Well, former Deputy Power Minister and ranking member on the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, John Jinapo, disagrees with the NPA. He says government can make use of the Stabilization Fund, which does not require parliamentary approval.
The essence of the price stabilization levy is to accumulate money so that when there's an increment like we are expecting, you can fall on that money to cushion consumers. So I'm surprised that the MPA says that they are waiting for Parliament to resume. So I'm asking that MPA, how much do you have in the price stabilization levy? And how many weeks, days, or months can that amount cushion consumers?
So the question remains, how much exactly the stabilization fund has accrued? My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio. Joseph, what do we know?
So according to the 2020 annual report on the management of energy sector levies and accounts, the price stabilization recovery levy has accrued 484.31 million cedis out of a projected 558.78 million.
Well, we've been trying to get a reaction from the Finance Ministry on this particular question. What have they been saying?
Our sources there disagree with John Jinapo. They are asking him to use the appropriate channel to seek accountability if he so wishes. That is filing a question in Parliament. Meanwhile, they say the minority is being inconsistent because they questioned the NPA's authority to make a reduction some few months ago.
Okay, many thanks, Joseph. Meanwhile, the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers Association says government should focus on permanently scrapping these levies, adding that their sale points will increase prices, but not much will change with regards to the suspension of these levies. Gabriel Kumi is Vice President.
We should be able to manage the expectation of the consumer, because the fact that this tax is going to be suspended does not necessarily mean price of petroleum product is going to go down. If you take a product like LPG, for instance, by Friday, which is the beginning of the next window, price of LPG is supposed to go up by about 40-50 pesos per kilo. Now the price stabilization levy is about 14 pesos. So even if government succeed in implementing the price stabilization levy on Friday, what it means is that price of LPG is going to go up by about 26 to 30 pesos. And our projection is that by December, if we don't take serious measures to reduce price of LPG, by December we should be buying LPG at about 10 cedis per kilo. And this is going to throw away a lot of people from consuming LPG, which is very, very, very dangerous for our environment and very dangerous for Mother Ghana.
It's time to hear from the consumers on this.
The increase of the fuel, we are not agree with it, so we are appealing to the government if they can do something about it, so that the fuel price will come down.
It's going to worry us a lot as the consumers, because whenever things are being increased, it affects lives a lot. So that is my little.
In view of what they've already proposed in increasing the LPG gas, we would like to plead with the government to do something about it, because with the standard of the living now in Accra, it's getting higher.
I think that it should rather be decreased so as we feel them in our pockets and in our lifestyle.
In my opinion, that for once we vote, for once we believe in the government and we give the government the authority we have, he has the right to also think of us and do what will benefit the citizens, so that there will be free and there will be peace in everywhere. But one time, if you look at how some of the women will be fighting with their boys.
The government should be able to, give us more stations whereby we can easily get gas. I think the increment should be memorized for us, because a lot of people can't afford to buy the gas.
Views of some consumers. Now, the Minority Chief Whip, Mohammed Mutaka Mubarak, has served notice. His side will stage demonstrations and force the closure of diplomatic missions operating in Ghana that victimize MPs opposed to activities of LGBTQ. This comes on the back of threats by some embassies that they will deny visas to MPs supporting the passage of the Proper Human Sexual and Ghanaian Family Bill 2021. When passed, the bill will criminalize persons who promote and engage in LGBTQ activities. Speaking on Kumasi-based radio station Ebusia FM, the Aswasi MP condemned the threat and warns no amount of intimidation will stop Parliament from passing the bill.
Say any embassy that uses this specifically, say because of we say be a Sam George, we will organize a demonstration to close down the embassy.
Hey.
Yes. You can't come and impose your
commitment.
Yes. You can't come and impose your culture on us. If you would tell us, say, the reason why you won't give Sam George, you won't give Honorable this, Honorable that, because Because when him say Ghana Constitution, say me as a member of parliament, the American will floor knows piano. You can't hold me responsible anywhere. So if you want to use that, then you cannot be in our country. We will have to demonstrate until the foreign ministry closes down that ministry, that embassy. You can't come and sit in our country and do what you want. We are not forcing you say, pay, but you won't mean be share so. But also, what I say, members of parliament from our country cannot visit your country. We will also ensure that nobody from your country can visit our country. That's why I like Nigeria. Nigeria is very, very emphatic about that. You put a sanction, they put similar. We are sending notice to our foreign ministry. Be ready. Anybody, any embassy that thinks they can use this as a way of threatening any of our members of parliament, our foreign ministry will insist that embassy leaves, shutdowns and leaves.
I see.
Or the same measure should be put. So I can say you will not allow Ghanaians to go there because of the law I pass. We shouldn't allow any of their citizens to also come to our country.
That's a Minority Chief Whip Muttaka Mubarak. On his part, Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu has urged interest groups to offer constructive inputs devoid of emotions and threats. He told Evans Mensah on PM Express only a frank discussion will get the best out of the bill.
We've done the first reading. The bill has been referred to the appropriate committee. So if you have any concerns, submit same, or worries, submit same to the committee.
But there's a public debate raging.
Yes.
The MPP in Parliament, he says, have been too silent in this public debate. He's been led chiefly by NDC MPs, notably Sam George.
We were here in a committee meeting of the Parliamentary Service Board when I heard some noise. Then peeping through the window, I saw some people wearing clerical suits and then entering Parliament. So the clerk then came to inform me that some people had come. They wanted to see him to present the petition. And as is done, if a person wants to submit a petition, he will send notice through the clerk to, say, the speaker. In this case, according to the clerk, there was no notice. They just walked in to say that we are bringing a petition. That itself was irregular. And that's why I'm saying that we should cut out emotions and sentiments, right? Because we need to be very dispassionate about this discourse. It's not about an individual. It's about the entire nation. It's about our values. And so I'm saying to us that we should rest assured that the representatives, we represent people. We listen to people. We confer with people. We have conversations with people.
That's the Majority Leader, Osechi Mensah-Bonsu. So let's get on the phone lines now. We're told that the Minority Caucus has started processes to protect its MPs, especially those behind this bill. And thankfully, the Minority Leader himself, Haruna Idrisu, joins us on the line. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. Let's first establish this. I see that there are a number of your MPs behind this particular bill. Would we say, well, would we be right in saying that this particular bill has the backing of the minority as a group?
Absolutely. We stand opposed to LGBTQI+ rights in Ghana. It is a moral imperative that the Parliament of Ghana stands together in fighting the introduction of those rights, as it will erode the respectability of our societal moral fabrics, our cultural values, and more importantly, to encourage the courageous members of Parliament led by Sam George and his colleagues, and to all those who share that value. It will be a watershed decision for the Parliament of Ghana. Don't forget that Parliament doesn't represent itself. We represent the electorate, and we have a standard of care and a standard duty to reflect the aspirations of the Ghanaian people. Can you imagine tomorrow those activists seeking the promotion of LGBTQI rights asking for restrooms, men in women's restrooms and women in males' restrooms? Can you imagine what that will mean for our society? And I think that it's important that we appreciate that in the process of lawmaking, inputs can be solicited and inputs can be sent to the committee appropriately dealing with this subject matter. And those inputs will guide final decisions on this matter. It is not a question of whether it is being promoted as a private member's bill or it ought to have been promoted by the executive. In any case, the question to ask is, what was the executive doing and what is the executive doing? They ought to have engaged proactively on this matter in order to protect the sacredness and sanctity of our moral and cultural values as a people.
And that's a direct response to the majority leader.
The anti-LGBTQI remains a moral imperative and watershed decision for the Parliament of Ghana. And nowhere in the world are rights absolute. Rights are always limited. That is why in many portions of the Constitution, you the words subject to this Constitution.
Okay. Well, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, let me quickly come in here, Mr. Haruna Idrisu. This is the Midday News. We don't have too much time, but let's talk about the threat on the members who are supposed to be providing support for this particular bill. Give us the level of seriousness of this particular threat from the diplomatic missions.
We will survive the threat. We will stand strong and firm to preserve and protect the moral values and fabric of our society. We would need to preserve our time-tested values as a people. I'm surprised that we are igniting debate in the name of rights. It is to stretch it to absurdity. No rights are absolute anywhere in the world. The enjoyment of freedoms and rights are subject to some limitations, and limitations of culture and moral values and factors are as important. I just gave you the example.
Okay.
If you tolerate and accept this, tomorrow they will ask for restrooms, and you have men and women's bathrooms and women in male bathrooms.
Okay.
Suddenly not Ghanaian.
Well,
and therefore, the Parliament of Ghana must reflect the strong aspirations of the Ghanaian people.
Well noted, but there are concerns also that has been raised, for instance, by the majority leader, implications of Article 108 of the Constitution and the bill, and whether it raises issues of financial burden on the state.
Are you worried about the togetherness of our country, or you are worried about financial implications? In any case, any burden is borne by the taxpayer, and the Ghanaian taxpayer are those who are articulating strongly, those anti-LGBTQI+. And therefore, I've heard the argument as to Article 108, whether the bill is initiated by a private member or is initiated by the executive. It is before a committee of parliament. And as we work together, both parliament and the executive.
And this issue about how it was even referred to the committee, Mr. Haruna Idrisu, if you can hear me, has been raised also by the majority leader. He has described the speaker as being biased in this particular bill.
Speaker Alban Bagbin is first a citizen of Ghana and more importantly, a respected speaker, the number 3 of our republic. And therefore, he's free to share his views on any national matter. That does not amount to a decision for the Parliament of Ghana.
We are grateful for your time. That's the Minority Leader, Haruna Idrisu there. And the current anti-LGBTQ bill continues to sharply divide opinion in the country. So the Christian majority has served notice. It will leave no stone unturned in its quest to ensure the bill is passed into law. But some MPs have also attempted a pushback, insisting they will not succumb to pressure from the church. Later this afternoon, our social media politically incorrect show, State of Play, will explore the impending clash between religion and politics. Here's what to expect.
The only grouping that is unclear about how they want to show their hand is the majority in Ghana's parliament.
Well, that's a very controversial subject because the chairman Sabonsu says, well, listen, what do you mean by we are unsure? But there's one thing that for me has become very apparent. This clash between religion and politics to go against the bill.
In fact, it's almost like for the first time they are setting some dominance.
And that's what to expect later today at 2:30 p.m. on all our social media platforms, a State of Play. And this is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. And we've heard from fuel and liquefied petroleum gas consumers bemoaning expected hardships as price shoot up in less than 48 hours, whilst we wait for the only relief available from government, which is not likely to start anytime soon. And later, scores of traders at Ketia Market lock up their shops and move to trade on pavement as they demand individual electricity meters following blackouts there. And when we return from the break, we also have sport, and leading members of the governing NPP describe a shocking and unbelievable death of former aviation minister Kofi Ada. We'll hear from them as they pay tribute to the former Navrongo Central MP. We also have showbiz with Akuma Mamazimbi.
If you miss the face, you don't miss the headgear. So the headgear will let you know the personality that is coming. And I've been doing this headgear close to 21 years. So even if I turn my back, they know.
Vodafone Smart Serve is here! Yes, Smart Serve from Vodafone allows you to connect to super fast wireless internet anywhere and anytime at your own convenience. Whether home or office or on your, we move with seamless connectivity. Charlie, there's even more. Vodafone Smart Serve connect up to 32 devices. So now you can connect to the internet on your own terms, increase your productivity, make the most of the things that matter, and do so much more. Visit fbb.vodafone.com.gh or the nearest Vodafone shop today and get a Smart Serve device now. A world of exciting possibilities awaits.
Vodafone. Together we can.
Book your unforgettable autumn holiday with Qatar Airways, the airline of the year 2021. Benefit from special savings of up to 30%, exclusive Privilege Club rewards, guaranteed flexibility, and a reliable expanding network of over 140 destinations. Book today at QatarAirways.com. Terms and conditions apply. Qatar Airways, the airline you can rely on.
Thanks for listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'll take you to the Ashanti region. We will trade on the pavements until our request is granted. The resolve of traders at the Ketia Market in the Ashanti region were unhappy with the decision by managers of the facility to centralize the metering system there. The traders say they have noticed the system is producing overpriced electricity charges. Leader of the concerned Ketia Traders Association, Frank Entry, tells Joy News several appeals for the system to be reversed to enable each shop get its own meter have not been granted. That's their decision to suspend payment of all these levies. He also explains why they've decided to trade on the pavement.
Still, we don't have any response. So we decide to freeze our payment of service charge so that they signal the leadership to fast their decisions and they bring the meter to us. But still, we are waiting. It didn't come.
Is that not going to affect your business? Because the ECG, for instance, yesterday disconnected power supply here.
We know it will come. If it will come, we organize our members to go and trade on the roadside and make sure that this facility will be the right area.
Well, that's the leader of the concerned KETR Traders Association, Frank Kintri. Now, Jima has been following the story. He joins us on the line with more. Now, tell us how this action by the traders is affecting customers who trade at the market.
So, as early as 6 a.m. on daily basis, people from other parts of the Ashanti region move into the KETR market to buy things for themselves or to trade in the market. But due to the action today, the opening of the shops within the market was delayed. So those who have traveled from other parts of the region to KETR to trade in KETR market had to be delayed by the action of the traders.
Well, so how are city authorities responding to this move by the traders?
So the information I have so far is that city authorities are in a meeting with the traders trying to find solution to the issues in the market. But not long ago, I had another information that the traders within the market, that's the leadership, have refused the proposal of the city authorities that they should go ahead and pay the levies as they try to find a solution to the issue.
That's my colleague Nanaya Jima there. Well, off to Swami, where the police are there have also arrested the man suspected of stabbing to death a 24-year-old man at Anumanji yesterday. Emmanuel Owusu went into hiding after allegedly killing his friend in an altercation. Our reporter Irasa Sasari Donko reports that the Swami police have been in the community since dawn today, combing for leads leading to his arrest. The body of the deceased, Ebenezer Asari, has since been deposited at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital morgue for autopsy. Let's do sports now. Muftar.
The Ghana Football Association said that CK Akono is due a compensation package of $50,000. The FA have written to the Ministry of Youth and Sport but have not indicated whether the ministry should foot the bill.
Per Joy Sports sources, the GFA have written to the Ministry of Youth and Sports to notify them that former Black Stars head coach Charles Akono is due a severance package of $50,000 for their decision to terminate his contract on September 13th. When approached by Joy Sports, an official of the GFA rhetorically asked, how much were you expecting him to be paid? He also added that the termination clause of the contractual agreement did not state otherwise. Before contract termination, Akono was owed close to $425,000, but a check of $50,000 representing 2 months of his arrears was signed and set to be delivered before the national team's trip to South Africa for the second game of the World Cup qualifiers. Since his dismissal, Joy Sports sources confirm Akono and the GFA have exchanged letters. However, the content of these letters are yet to be disclosed to Joy Sports.
That is the statement that Joy Sports have picked up in relation to the contractual disagreement between the Ghana Football Association and that of CK Akono.
Thank you very much, Muftar. Now it's time for Tech Thursday, and one of the targets of the Sustainable Development Goals is to end preventable death of newborns and children under age 5. Ghana has yet to meet that target, but there's hope of achieving it thanks to a mobile phone health information system that allows parents to seek and receive diagnosis and treatment for their sick children at home. Kwesi Debra has more.
Known as MopChild, the system is outcome of a joint project by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology School of Public Health, Isoko Ghana, and Ghana Health Service. The system is designed with an automated interactive voice response technology. It allows under 5 child caregivers to dial into the computer system over a telephone line in the local dialect. Eugenia Malan is business advisor at Isoko.
When the caregiver calls the IVR, there's a prompt that the caregiver needs to go through. So if, as for example, your child has a fever, the IVR will ask you to press 1 or 2, and then the question runs through.
Well, that's Kwesi Debra's report for Tech Thursday.
So it's been quite a hefty hit on us. But I must say that the two agencies, Civil Aviation Airport Company, have done quite well, not laying anybody off. They maintain them, the salaries that they've been earning.
The voice of former Aviation and Energy Minister Joseph Kofi Adda, and obviously a voice you will not hear again because he passed away earlier today. Kofi Adda first became MP for Navrongo Central in 2003 through a by-election after the passing of incumbent John Setunu at Shuliwo. Well, we've been hearing from former Chief Executive of BUIPA, Fred Owari, and former Education Minister, Professor Christopher Miawe-Kumfi, who say Mr. Adda's death must unify the party.
Less than a month ago,
We spent almost 2 hours or so together. I was sitting next to him. So as I said, I'm still in a shock. Because he was hearty. We talked about what is going on, the conference, and what should happen after the conference, and what we should be doing in getting back a lot of the seats and votes that we lost for the 2020 elections. And so, in my own mind, he is very much a part of the future of this party. And now here we are, with this sad news. We'll see how we'll be able to console ourselves and take some of the ideals and principles that he believed in.
The late minister was 65 years old, and his love for tradition is just like what we're going to talk about as well. Akumama Mazimbi.
Akumama Mazimbi, everybody who sees Akumama Mazimbi, the first thing that you notice is her headgear. And I was talking to her about the importance of branding in this industry, and this is what she had to say.
It has made me see wherever I am. In fact, if you miss the face, you don't miss the headgear. So the headgear will let you know the personality that is coming. And I've been doing this headgear close to 21 years. So even if I turn my back, they know it's the original Akumama Mazimbi. Simple put, AMZ. Nakedness brings shame to you.
And that's Mama Zimbi ending showbiz.
And that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. On myjoyonline.com, anti-LGBTQ bill, churches willing to bear financial costs of prosecuting culprits. That's according to Formweni. Katia Traders pledge to stop paying levies until electricity tariffs issues are resolved. Let Attorney General take it up, or it could be an exercise in futility. That's according to the majority leader. We've been hearing from the minority leader also. And former aviation minister Joseph Kofi Ada has died. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I am MFA Pau, and thanks for your company. Self-Government with Pastor Mensah Otabil on Living Word. Please stay for it.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.